Stream.
What's up, everybody? It is Wednesday night hits and heels. I am so sorry that I missed y'all last week. So last week, let me tell y'all what happened last week. Last week we had a game and it went longer than what it expected because we had a previous game on a Wednesday. We got done and plenty of time for me to be able to get to my podcast. So I just thought that I would still be able to get to it last week, but it just didn't happen that way. We were still on the field at, I think, at 9:30 before we left. Right. We left there and it was really, really late. So I just went ahead and deleted it. So that was supposed to be, this is supposed to be episode 100. That was supposed to be 99, but this is episode 99. And of course, I decided to bring my husband back because I got my son on today. But before we bring our son on, Coach Bryant,
what?
How about them Wildcats?
How about those cats? I tell you the greatest thing that as a coach and a former player at the University of Kentucky is just babies making plays.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, babies making plays made it pretty cool. So that's what I loved about it. Just doing what they're supposed to do. And, and I have to say, Ty made, which I got a lot of texts on, a few plays that a lot of times people don't see, but that was a turning point. It was nice. I loved it. So with that said is how about those cats? So you got a bye week this week.
Okay.
And then Vandy comes next Saturday night, comes into the Bluegrass and take on the Wildcats at 7:45.
Now, why is that a late game?
I think it's great. I'd rather be a late game. I don't know about where I started that question. I'd rather be a late game than that 12 o'clock. That 12 o'clock be hurting. They be hurting me because I'm old. Y'all still young, so y'all got that.
Okay, so before we bring Ty on, I how I kind of want this to go is, he's our baby. We don't play about him. We're very proud of him. But I want to talk about today just his journey going through. So we're gonna go ahead and bring Ty on. We're gonna so that you guys can see him. Hey, Kevin, and then Coach Park, we see you, and we'll bring you on shortly. Ty Bryant, Ty P, our baby. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
What's good? Are you happy with the bye week?
Yeah, I am. Time to rest. Get ready for next week.
Okay.
So how emotional was that win for you personally?
I wouldn't say emotional was the word, but I was definitely excited just to be able to march into a top-ranked team into their house and beat them. It feels good. First time I've done that too, so yeah.
And you've had a lot of firsts. I mean, we just throughout the whole, I guess, life since I've been with you, since you was 5, you created so many great sports moments for us, and I kind of wanted to come on and kind of highlight that for today because I'll be honest, you my baby, of course. So, and I have my own platform, and I wanted to showcase my baby because I felt like that they haven't really been giving you the press because you made some plays in the last 3 games that were pivotal, I think haven't gotten enough press with that. But So Coach Bryant, start us off with your journey with Ty. I think how did you get him to this point? So Ty, I want to make sure that we help a lot of parents and other, especially parents, to help their kid to get to this level because I know skill set has a lot to do with it, but let's talk about some of the behind the scenes stuff that started with it. And I think you started it off with who coached him besides you.
Well, the thing about it is starting coaching Ty at a very young age. But the thing that I loved about Ty, and I tell this quick story. We were actually hitting baseballs, and one of my former players at the University of Kentucky, Rowe, who was an officer, and had his son who actually played for Lafayette and went off to Major League Baseball for 10, 12 years. I was telling Ty to do something, and he goes, wow, he still listens. Because I think at that time he was 13, 14 years of age. And that's been his biggest plus for me as a dad. because he's watched me do it. So a lot of times I don't put what he's done on Facebook. And I've got how many videos, Todd? 20,000?
Yeah, a lot.
A lot of videos of him doing work, feet work, and all that. And that's what moves me to now. And the coaches, that people don't realize, the coaches were handpicked. They were handpicked because what I'm putting into Ty, I needed the coaches to instill that as well, but they had to have it in them.
Right.
And the first coach that's coming on,
We're going to be bringing on Coach Marty Parks.
Marty Parks, and the Chiefs. Is that the right? Is that it? Is that it? All right. You know, Parks and I have a cute little story that nobody knew but us, right?
Right.
You want to tell it? You want me to tell it?
Go ahead and I'll chime in with you.
Okay. Basically, what happened is I'm an official at Park and Rec. Coach Parks is coaching. I'm coaching that's when Park and Rec was loaded with a lot of coaches, and all of them was good. I loved the way he was teaching. I loved it. Now, Ty, you wasn't even thought about
Really?
at that time. I mean, not even thought about.
Nope.
I walked up to Coach Parks, correct? And
Correct.
I said, if I have a child, when I get married and I have a child, I want him to play for you. And Coach Parks looks at me and go ahead.
I looked at Coach and I'm like, okay. And you know, and when he said that, I'm like, okay, well, okay, maybe that happened, maybe it won't. But as the years passed, he was still refereeing. Years passed, and I still coached. He came to me and said, I'm ready for you to coach my son. And so from that point on, when he came, when he told me that, Ty came to me as a 7-year-old. I coached the 7 and 8 Chiefs, and it blew me away that all this came together when Coach B said, I want you to coach my son. And, you know, I appreciate that because my biggest thing was I love teaching kids, teaching them the right way, from the fact that when I was coming up, I didn't have such good coaching, and I saw my friends that played for other teams didn't have that good coaching, and a lot of them never played ball again. And from that point forward, I said that, you know, I got into coaching youth football, and I didn't want a kid to ever have to go through that, to have that bad experience and to not ever want to play that sport again. So that was my mission, was to give these kids a good foundation and to let them build on that. But first and foremost, I taught them discipline and mechanics and things like that. Just gave them a good foundation, and where they enjoyed that and wanted to do it, and just kept encouraging them. And I try to instill that in all these kids. So that's how.
And that was one of the biggest things, Coach Parks, that I saw, because I was already instilling that in him, even after when he wasn't with you. I mean, he's on your team, and that's what I loved about Ty. So Ty, go ahead. You can chime in.
So Ty, you remember your experience from the Chiefs?
Yeah, I do. Obviously, that was my first time playing ball. So I remember little things like getting my helmet for the first time, and obviously like the number I had and stuff like that, and just core memories. You know, going up to Owensboro and playing the Bears and stuff like that. That being all rival. So yeah, I remember like little things like that. Mm-hmm.
All right,
good stuff. Well, Coach, we appreciate you coming on. We just wanted to give you your flowers and just thank you for helping us get tied to this level. And we just wanted to show our appreciation. We appreciate you.
Hey, I appreciate.
Thanks for coming on.
I appreciate you guys having me, and anytime you just let me know. And Ty, baby, you keep doing your thing, and I love that. The thing is, as a coach, man, I love seeing what you're doing out there, man. It makes me feel good, man. Keep doing what you're doing, man. I love
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Before you leave, what's your NFL team?
There we go. The 49ers.
Oh, 49.
Where's your wife? Tell your wife I said, how about them Cowboys?
Hey, Coach
Come on,
Parks,
man.
thank you for coming
Thank
on.
you for coming on, Coach Parks.
Appreciate you, Coach.
Appreciate you, buddy.
Man, that was good stuff, right, Ty?
I mean, 7 and 8 was like you said, was the beginning of learning your helmet and your getting pads on and all that. So it had to be, it's been a long time ago, if you will. Yeah. But it's something that I hope that, like you said, in your memory banks.
It's gone. But the time has gone by fast.
It has.
Right. So I think that's kind of one of the things that I want to talk about, even with parents, is you have got to enjoy the moment and each game because it goes by so fast. So we got some people. So your aunties is on here. Your auntie Nay's on. Of course, my cousin Kevin Watson. What's up, Kevin? My friend Shavina. Hey, Mr. Brown. Oh, Mr. Brown said, as a multi-talented athlete, what made you choose football over baseball?
And we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. But we'll get to that.
That's a good question.
Good question.
How you doing, Mr. Brown?
But we'll get to that. Hey, Danny Marie. And we got a couple other questions. Mr. Allen Park says, here's a good one. I'm gonna let him do this one. He said, keep doing your thing, young man. I love your ability to not run from contact. Now, our next coach, we got another coach on.
Yes.
And we're going to bring, so we went from, after we went to the Chiefs, we went to where we go?
Falcons.
We went to the Falcons.
And this is Coach JT Haskins. And people don't realize that we signed Ty up at his house. Remember, I came to your house to sign him up on the team. And you and Taco was the coach, and I said, "Wow, we're continuing this tradition of coaches with the discipline." And like I tell parents, I handpicked, and to have them coach him, Parks, and then coming with Haskins, and I say Taco as well was a great thing. So how you doing, Coach?
You guys enjoying the night?
Yeah, well, we got my man on. Yeah.
I see him.
So, Coach, we appreciate you and your part that because I think Cisco's biggest thing too is having coaches that he trusts with his son, and that was just really, really difficult. And with you having babies that also play, of course, you're coaching yours, which kind of helps you. Cisco decided not to coach Ty in high school. And even throughout the years, he elected to let other coaches, such as yourself, to coach Ty. What was your experience?
I think I had Ty when he was, I think it was 11 or 12-year-old team that we had. Bunch of talented kids who enjoyed the game and wanted to learn how to play the game. So I think it was me and Taco's duty to instill into the young kids the hard work, discipline, and correct way.
Yeah. Well, you would have him at 9 and 10. You would have him at 9 and 10 because you had him right after, because Marty Moore should have had him at 11.
Yeah, I had 2 years of 10-year-old.
Oh, okay. 2 years because of your age.
Yeah.
Okay. So and that was amazing thing. That was amazing thing to watch the transition from Coach Parks to you, and he, he can speak for himself. How did that work out with you, Ty, going from Parks to Haskins?
It was great. I mean, obviously, I was going over there with a lot of my guys, Mason and Kai. They also joined the team, but just
AJ as well.
Yeah, learning about more guys on the team and stuff like that. Like obviously, JT and me and him, we built a relationship and a bond that we're going to have for the rest of our life. But yeah, just it was cool. It was cool, most definitely.
Good.
Game last week when UK played Ohio, I seen you guys run up and was talking to each other after the game. That was an enjoyable moment for me. Yeah. Seeing you two guys reconnecting and still have love for the game as you guys are both playing college ball now.
Yeah, most definitely. I made that an emphasis of mine. Like as soon as the clock ran down and ticked all zeros, that I was gonna go find my guy and we was gonna chop it up a little bit.
That's my fault. I wish I would have set up a opportunity for a picture. We should have got a picture up at that moment. That would have been classic. That was on me. We was doing other stuff.
We were doing other stuff. Yeah.
Anyway, Coach Haskins, we just wanted to come on, bring you on just to tell you thank you for your part in helping us to mold Ty to get Ty to this level. Hey, good luck with your babies, all three of them actually, and your team with Bryan Station. We're looking forward to Bryan. When do we play? When did Douglas play in Bryan Station? When y'all play Douglas?
Oh, in 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
I
Okay.
couldn't hear you.
Okay. Yeah, the sound is going out. But anyway, we'll be at that game, and we'll make sure that we continue to support in Bryan Station. You know, it's always Lexington versus everybody else in the whole state. So, you know, we support you all, and we appreciate you. Thank you for coming on.
Well, let me say this. So how is JT doing? We got to, hey, check your volume because we can't hear you.
It doesn't look muted. Oh, it's muted. There it is.
I don't know.
Okay, say it again because it was mute.
Oh, well, he's traveling with the team. As you said, he was there at the UK game, and we had a nice homecoming for him. And so he's doing well.
Well, good. Well, just want to say again, I'm
absolutely
sorry.
No, you're good.
Thanks for coming on. Another integral part of, very integral part with Parks and Haskins, and so thank you both. And then we'll go to his third coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate you, Coach.
Thanks, Coach. All right, and go ahead.
Then we went to the Bulldogs. Coach Marty Moore. What's up, Coach? Welcome to Hits and Heels.
How we doing, guys?
We're good, Coach.
Good to see everybody. Glad everybody's doing well.
Thank you. Thanks for coming on. And also, let me say this with Haskins and also Parks and also the other two, is it was very late notice, so we appreciate your time so much. So we want to make sure.
Hey, man, you got me before I went to bed, so I'm about ready to shut it down, buddy.
Yeah, we all are.
So Ty comes on your team. Go ahead.
No, I was trying to get Ty on my team for about, I don't know, 5 years. You know, we'd scrimmage Marty Parks, and I'd always go up to him and say, "Man, when you gonna come over to the Bulldogs?" You know, and so finally, you know, the Chiefs ran out. They couldn't go any further, and middle school football started, and I grabbed Ty because I didn't want to go to the Fayette County middle school system with my team, and so that's how we got Ty on the Bulldogs, and it was great having him be a part of the team and the guys, and just creating memories and doing all those young things as young players and young men, and trying to teach them the right from wrong and the lessons of life.
Right. Well, I said this before. If you sit there and look at it, it's a who of coaching, and with the effort and that he put in, and all the hills was people didn't see, Ty, right? All the hills you had to run and all the stuff you had to do, and then all of a sudden, I'm fortunate to have Coach Parks, Coach Haskins, and Coach Moore. So Ty, go ahead. You can comment with Coach Moore.
Yeah, obviously going to the Bulldogs, it was definitely a great experience. I got to go over there with some of the guys I already knew from school, like Xavier and Jafai, and then I also met one of my another great friend of mine, Cam Santiago, by going to the team, and it really it shows how like sports, it just brings people together. So yeah, I appreciate you, Coach Moore, for allowing me to be on your team, and yeah.
Well, Ty, you were a big part of it, man. I mean, you were one of those players that, you know, the coach really enjoys coaching. You know, it was, yes sir, no sir, and you did everything I asked you to do, and you really were unselfish in your play. You know, I'd put you at linebacker. You know, you played tailback. We had Xavier. You weren't getting the ball as much, so I tried to move you around and get you as many touches as I can. as you know, that team, I think there's probably at least 8 of those guys that are playing college football from the Bulldog team that I coached and you were a part of. So, if you think about it, it was you, it was Dane, it was Mason, it was Anthony Johns. I mean, those are, and Xavier, and, that's just 5 guys right off the top of my head. So, it was just great to have you and your dad and, be a part of that team. And those Bulldog teams, man, bring tears to my eyes. And that CKYFL, man, that was dear to my heart. And just being able to touch your lives in a little way. And if you took one little coaching aspect of what I taught you, that makes me proud.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Well, for those that don't know, Mr. Brown made it a point that Coach Marty Moore, was drafted and played for the Patriots, and you also have a Super Bowl ring. Is that correct, Coach Moore?
That is correct. Yeah.
And you played for the University of Kentucky.
Well, here's the thing about the Super Bowl ring. I tried to steal it, and I thought he lost a couple of steps, but he still had it. Go, hold up, Coach. Where you going, my ring?
Hey, Mason's going to have to fight his sisters for it when I'm 6 feet in the ground. He's going to have to fight his sisters for it. Let me tell you.
Well, I love the fortitude of your sisters. He gonna lose.
He's gonna lose. I'm telling you, man, they fight dirty.
They ain't playing.
Mason runs that mouth too much, but his sisters, man, they fight dirty.
So real quickly, and then I think Ty might want to have something else to say to you, but real quickly, how is Mason doing?
He's doing great.
His colleges.
We left Miami of Ohio after they won the MAC championship last year, and we transferred. And he's starting. It's a whole different experience for him. And I've had many conversations with many guys I know, and it's about your experience in college, and it's about, what lessons you learn as a football player, as a student, athlete, and just that part of your life. It's about that experience. And we went from a not so good experience to an experience now where, he's starting, he's making plays, the team's winning, and he's an integral part of it. And I think it was the best decision that he's made, and he made it on his own. I didn't force him.
He's at Lehigh, right?
He's at Lehigh. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So he went from Miami, Ohio to the Patriot League to Lehigh, and they've got a second-year coach. The coach is from Yale and just a great person. He's being mentored by men. So I think that's the crucial thing when you talk about your kids. You want your kids coached and mentored by men, because you cannot be there for your child anymore. So you want those being positive role models for your kid. You want them to be someone they can go talk to, they can trust. And I think that's the big thing that I'm very excited about for him over the next 3 years of his football career is he's being mentored by men who care and that have his best interest at heart. And I think that's important for young athletes in today's society, in the culture we live in with the NIL and must win and coaches get fired, over things that you have to have your son, your daughter in a situation that they're being mentored by people that you respect and you would want to, be friends with, or just have a common goal for your kid.
Well, that's a valid point, because even before they become men, I go back to Marty Parks, JT Haskins, Marty Moore. Okay, I'm not looking for y'all to teach him to be a man, but it's the same type of structure. And that's why he played for, again, Marty Parks, JT Haskins, and Marty Moore. And then also Sterling Ward in middle school, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. So I can truly appreciate that comment. Ty, you got anything for Coach?
No, I don't. Appreciate you.
Ty, man, I follow you, buddy. I saw your play against Georgia. I was telling your dad, I'm like, there's kids who make football plays and have instincts, and you blitzed and you stopped and you pivoted and you went down the line. You made the tackle, and that's not just being an athlete and a great player, but that's football instinct. And man, you're doing great. You just keep it up. I know. It's there's frustrations at every level, and sometimes you just got to work through those frustrations. And listen, there's also those games that you go in the locker room and you know that it wasn't a good outcome, and that you just got to be a leader and make your team better. And so you're going through all those trials and tribulations, and just keep your chin up and stay positive and keep playing at a high level. And man, we'll see you here in about 3 or 4 years getting drafted in the NFL. So you just keep it up.
Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir. I
Appreciate you, Coach.
Appreciate that, Coach.
Okay, and I want to go ahead and throw Sterling Ward, who actually had other obligations, and he totally wanted me to tell you this, a quote. You are an amazing player to coach. And he said he was so excited to coach you. You was the first player on the field, and you was the first player on the field, the last player off the field. He said you was so much an enjoyment to coach. And that's at Leestown Middle School when you end up going there after leaving Marty Moore. You went there, and he wanted me to tell you that he's sorry he couldn't come on, but he wanted you to know that you are in his 20 plus, 25 years plus, 30 years coaching, that you are one of the best players he's ever coached, not because of your talent. And this is him talking, not me. He said, it's the way you played the game, and you were so very coachable. And to be and he said, I use his word loosely, a superstar that listened. He said that's a rare thing in this day and age. So he wanted you to know that. And that's Coach Ward of Leestown Middle School football.
Yes, sir.
Well, Coach Marty Moore, thank you for coming on. Welcome to Hits and Heels, and we're going to have to set up for you to have your own whole show.
I already told him.
So that we can get you. So we can hear your story, because
it's amazing.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Thank you for coming on.
Hey, thank you guys, and Ty, I'll be watching you all season, man. Good luck to you. Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
All right. Take care, guys.
Bye.
You. Well, go ahead.
Yeah. So listen. So I love it. I love it, Ty. Your everybody that molded you were absolutely fantastic. Yes. Again, I think one of the hardest thing as a parent is to coach your own child. And so for you to be able to go and handpick and trust other coaches is phenomenal. And of course, shout out to Coach Sterling Ward. But after you left middle school, we decided to go to Frederick Douglass. And we got Coach coming on, and we got a little flavor. Oh,
and
Coach coming off that Hall of Fame. Hall of Famer.
Congratulations. Hey, I was surprised you picked up. I mean, you're a Hall of Famer now.
I appreciate it. What's up, Ty? How are you, buddy?
What's up, Coach? I'm good.
And let me make sure we're on the same page here. When Ty first came to Frederick Douglass, Coach Landis was the coach, who's now at Georgia State. He's still there, correct?
He's actually at West Georgia now.
Okay, he's at West Georgia,
Yep.
and he coached Ty, and then Coach McPeak took on, and we did our effort with Landis, and Coach McPeak got us a ring.
Coach McPeak got us a ring.
Ty had a big part of that. He had a big part of that. So that was a special team, obviously, and he knows that. He knows that. So.
Well, good stuff. Well, Ty, so I posted all your accolades from Frederick Douglass. You're the leading tackler. What else? You were the MVP. You got your ring. You were MVP of the championship game. Oh man, that was a great game. Oh my goodness. So you definitely left your mark at Frederick Douglass. We're definitely so proud of you. And Coach, thank you so much for coaching him up at Frederick Douglass and helping him to get to the next level over at Kentucky, because we're excited about him playing at Kentucky. Lord have mercy.
Oh yeah, for sure. And Ty knows I love him to death. He was a great player, but even more than that, he's a great person, great kid. Never had to worry about him as far as academics, and that's a credit to your dad and mom and stepmom and everybody associated with your family, because that has a big part, as you know, Ty, of molding you from. And I know you've had some youth coaches on, but I can't say enough good things about Ty. And at some point, and we've had these conversations, football is going to end. Hopefully it's a while from now. Hopefully he makes money at this, at the next level in NFL too. But if it doesn't, all the qualities that he exhibits will make him successful in the avenues that he wants in life. Because, we're not going to play this game forever. We have a lot more life to live, and those qualities that he exhibits are going to take him really far in life. And I look forward to seeing that. Like I said, hopefully football continues for him for a long time, and I think it will. Super proud of him. He knows that. I'm in a group text with him, Dane, and Jagger. I check on him quite a bit, and it's a good thing, but I have a lot of different group texts with a lot of different players in different locations. And I feel bad.
That's a good thing to have. That's a good issue to have, Coach.
It is. It just, when we're involved with our stuff and involved with our season, and it's just hard to keep up with everybody. And I think our players understand that, but I think they know we love them and we always want them to come back and visit. And, we don't have a big alumni base at Douglass. We've only been a school 7 years, and it's important to me that former players come back. Obviously, he's a state champion forever. It's always going to be etched in the history of the high school. And, it'll mean a lot more to him the older he gets and his teammates that he won it with.
Yes.
But, it was a special, special time. And, that was a special team. We didn't get it done in 21. That was a great team, too. And then a lot of those guys that came back, led by Ty, they weren't going to be denied in 22. And it was a joy to coach those guys.
Well, it's so funny you say that when you said in the beginning, Coach, keeping up with former players. So I commend you, because we try to do that at Crawford.
And it's hard.
It's hard. Yeah, and you don't want them to think you're prying in their life, and so when you said that, it sort of hit home with what we try to do at Crawford, because we try to make our former players feel at home, and obviously you do the same thing, Ty, right?
Oh, for sure. It's obviously a lot of Crawford, as you know, Crawford players play for us. And it's a joy to see those guys grow. You guys do a great job with those guys, and congrats on the win last week. That was a great game with Hayes at our place.
It was a great game.
It was. But yeah, Ty, just super proud of you. And, it was a great win last week at Ole Miss. I didn't get a chance to watch it. I just heard the score because obviously I was busy with my stuff. But again, super proud of you, man. And, we're always here for you, whatever you need.
Yes, sir. Man. I appreciate you, Coach Pete.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for coming on, Coach.
Thank you for coming on, Coach. We appreciate you.
No problem. You guys have a good one. Ty, best of luck the rest of you, man.
Yes, stay in touch. Thank you. Good luck this weekend.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate you.
Yes,
yep. See you guys.
So I have a question, if I can.
Yeah.
Ty, you're going back in history, the brain's going 100 miles an hour, and it's sort of like a song you ain't thought about, and then all of a sudden it pops up. Marty Moore, Marty Parks, J.T. Haskins. Can your brain, because you got a lot of stuff going on, can you start with Parks, and if you have a play that you remembered with the Chiefs or with the Falcons, with the Bulldogs, or it's just all running together right now? I know it's a hard question, so I apologize.
I'll probably say the play that stood out with the Chiefs is probably when we played at Douglass, and I can't remember what year this was, but when I made a one-handed catch along the sideline. That's one. I say with the Falcons, I got a lot of good stories with the Falcons, honestly. My first touchdown, but also I believe that was the year where we went to Owensboro, and I would say my favorite sports memory happened when we was in the championship and that team was driving down the whole field. And I remember you had told me, you was like, take a step to your left or step to your right and then square right back up and something like that. And I did that. Yeah. And then he threw me a pick and I took it the distance. So
yes,
to this day, I still think that's my favorite sports memory. And then the Bulldogs, honestly, I would think a memory I have there is just being able to, because obviously when you get to a certain age, there's not a lot of teams like for Pop Warner around here. So we would have to travel a lot. So traveling with those guys and being able to go to Cleveland and tour the Brown Stadium, that was real nice. And that's a memory that I'll definitely have forever. First time I was ever on an NFL field and got to be on the grass and got to do everything, just tour the whole facility and all that. So that was definitely nice. And also, like I said before, I became close with some of the people that I call my best friends to this day on the Bulldogs too. So yeah, that definitely helps.
Okay, and a lot of memories with Frederick Douglass. And you're 2 seasons out from planning for 3 seasons, if you will. So what is your memories?
I want to wait.
Oh, we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait.
We're gonna go memories for life. But right now, what I want to do is I want to go back. I want to backtrack because Mr. Brown had asked you a question. Okay. He said, "What made you choose football over baseball?"
I think honestly, growing up, I mean, obviously, I always told myself that I wanted to play both sports, and during the recruiting process, I wanted it to be like I knew what school I was going to. Obviously, I didn't really know what school I was going to until I decided to pick Kentucky, but I wanted the question to really be like, was I going to play baseball or football there? And I ultimately wanted to play both. But I would say what really led me to football was just, I don't know, just the love I was getting, the attention, and I don't know. I mean, it was just something that I feel like the good Lord had placed on my heart just to go with. And I do miss baseball. Especially during the spring when baseball's on all the time. So I have a lot of great baseball memories as well, but I definitely do feel like the good Lord placed it on my heart to just go with football, and that's what I end up choosing.
Okay, cool. So
any more questions?
No, there's another question. He had another question. Hold on one second. He said, "Did you and Kai Center play together with the Chiefs?" Yes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay, and I wanted to make sure that LaRon and Siobhan Lewis, he said, my guys, Coach and Ty. I addressed Tracy. Oh, so Tracy Ivan Muhammad, her son was number 15 that played against at Ole Miss. She's on. Althea Bernard, that is Coach Truck's wife. She says she loved this. My cousin Orlando Neal, I see you. Coach Auntie Nay. Henry, please. He said, my grandson said you pitched in the World Series in Little League, and that was the question. Yeah, he did. He's coaching in the Little League World Series. Actually, I'm waiting. Let me see if I can get her to come on. Her to come on now. Okay, this is one thing I want to address while I have you both here. Can you both explain to people how hard it is as a DB to cover? Like a lot of people, there's a lot of couch coaches that are out here that get on my last nerve about whether or not you should prevented a wide receiver from catching a ball, or you should have made a certain play. But can y'all please explain how hard it is to be a DB?
I mean, my perspective is like they know where they're going. You don't, obviously. And many people think like everything in football is man to man when it's not. You know what I'm saying? So I may have to read a run gap or drop back into coverage late or something like that. And obviously, when I get my hips turned, he's already running full speed at me, and I got to get going. So that's definitely another thing. But yeah, I mean, that's really all I got to say about that.
Well, I think sometimes when yourself and Childress and Harrison. When y'all played that game and all the DBs are playing that game, love. When y'all play it, when people show up to Kentucky, y'all make it look easy. And I think it's why people think it's easy. It's not. And you've heard me say since you've been a tight, playing defensive back is the hardest position to play. And people look at me because I'm a defensive guy, because you got to tackle guys when 230 pounds going full speed. And you've heard me say that since you was a baby, correct? Mm-hmm. That D linemen don't tackle running backs full speed. Linebackers don't tackle running backs full speed. DBs tackle running backs full speed. Then you got to guard Cheetah, who's running a 4.3, 4.4, who's hipping. And then you got to guard a Dane Key, who's 6'9" and can jump out of the building. And, it's a very difficult position to play unless you played it. And I played it, so I can appreciate it a little bit more, but I'm glad you put that perspective on it.
Yeah, good stuff. So
we got a bonus.
Besides, your big sister is dogging us because she claiming she didn't know we was coming on here, and she said make sure that we get used to calling her Dr. J or Dr. J, whatever. So we not getting ready to fool with your big sister today. But I got another gift for you, and this is guess who we got on here?
Hey, babe.
Hey, Mom.
Yeah. I took a break from my vacation to pop in for you.
What'd you say?
I said I took a break from my vacation to pop in.
Well, hey, Angela, thank you for coming on my show for His and Heels. So this is the part of the segment where we are going to reminisce about our favorite moments. And of course, Shadow, you hear Shadow. Can you hear Shadow?
I can't hear him.
Of course, he just started screaming. Yeah, your dog. I wish you would come get him.
I wish I could.
And so we wanted to talk about our favorite moments and see where they line up with yours. Because you just said that you said your favorite moment was the moment at Owensboro.
Me? Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
That's your favorite. Your all-time favorite. And so what's your favorite?
Wait, what was this Owensboro moment?
Okay, go ahead and tell your mom which one that one was. Because she'll remember when you say it.
I believe I played with the Falcons, and we was in the championship. And I remember my dad, he was coaching a little defense with the Falcons, and the team was driving on his first drive of the game, and we ended up calling a timeout. We went to the sideline, and my dad was like, all right, this is what I need you to do. He was like, when on the snap of the ball, take 2 steps to your right, I think it was, and he was like, go right back to the exact same spot where you was. And sure enough, on the snap of the ball, I took 2 steps to my right, went right back where I was, and he threw it right to me. And then I took it the distance. I had a pick 6. So, and then that was probably my favorite sports moment.
So one of my favorite sports moments also happened in Owensboro, and it was you made a diving catch for a ball that seemed uncatchable, and you hadn't really been used in that way that season. So it was an amazing play. It propelled us into the remainder of the game, and we ended up winning that game. But that was like, in my opinion, that was kind of one of your coming out moments. You really made that play. You made sort of a name for yourself. And so that's one of my favorites.
Well, I'm going back to the story Todd just gave, because if you remember, if I am correct, that was the treadmill game, right? Where he got on the treadmill to lose.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I couldn't eat before. That was the second day at Owensboro, so I was fine to eat and stuff like that. But yeah, the first day at Owensboro, like when we first got there on like Thursday night, Friday, whatever it was, I couldn't eat. Like I literally had to we went to eat with Miss Amanda and Kai, and Kai was sitting there smacking the bread, and I couldn't have none of that.
Yes, he was teasing you just as a best friend and should.
I remember Miss Amanda said, Ty, if you make weight, we'll come back here and we'll get you all the bread you want. And I remember that. But.
Right. That was the same one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I thought it was. You know, hey, how you doing, man?
How you doing, brother? Doing good.
We're good. Do you have a favorite moment?
What's up, Mr.
This is from the beginning to high school, not college. We're not doing college because he's still doing that.
My favorite, Angela took my favorite, which is the catch. But my second favorite was that home run when he was with the Phillies. They're still orbiting the earth right now as we speak. I got a picture of him on my phone where the ball's over the trees. And I was just like, man, this has got to be the greatest play ever in my life, watching this boy hit this ball. Wow. It's still circling right now. It's still going earth. Just see.
I love it.
I love it. Man, I love that, boy.
One of my favorite ones was when we were in Gulf Shores and you were playing second base and you went and you dove after a ball. You were on your knees and you threw him out from your knees.
And then a lady said, "Did you see that play from that kid?"
They was, and the whole place just interrupted. That was probably one of my favorites. And then I think my second favorite moment was during the Woodford County game when you just took over the game.
Terry, you took my favorite. I was about to say the exact same thing. The Woodford County game was one of my favorite moments of your entire sports career.
Yes.
That whole game.
That whole game. Yeah. You just took over the whole game. Yeah, you took over the game. And then from there, we were just on it was just off my. And then I don't know how we not mention the first game that you almost pitched a no-hitter when we were at the Little League World Series when we were in Indianapolis. I thought that was a good one. So I don't know. What's your top five, Ty? So give me your top five.
I mean, it's a tough question.
It is.
Obviously, I mean, number one, I'm gonna say obviously is the Owensboro play. That's number one. I can't even really give it like in order after that, but
I can't do it in order either.
Probably the Woodford County is up there. The Woodford County game is up there. I think when I was it 11 when we played Bowling Green?
Yes.
Yeah, I would definitely say that.
Yes, that game when we were down like 14-6 or something like that, and then you
we were down by
oh my God,
we were down by like 7, and then we got down by like 8, then we were down by like 6, and we came all the way back both times.
And it was like the 5th inning.
Yes.
Yeah, and then that's 3 right there. Shoot, I don't know. It's a lot. It's definitely a lot. It's definitely a lot.
I got one. Go ahead.
My favorite was your sophomore year. We're playing Dunbar High School at Dunbar. You're playing both ways, and they said tackle by Ty Bryant, tackle by Ty Bryant, tackle by Ty Bryant, and then they took you out of the game, and that's when Landis yelled and said, "Don't put him back on offense," because you was playing a lot of offense and a lot of defense, and you got tired. You remember that?
Yeah, I do.
You got tired. And Landis went crazy.
Another one of my favorite moments. I think another one of my favorite moments is up there is Bryan Station when I had the pick six. That was definitely because like it was a close game. Yeah, it was a close game, and I was cramping and stuff, so I was only going in on third downs on pivotal downs, and I ended up catching the pick, and
that was a good one.
Well, Al, I'm sorry I cut you off. What did you? What was yours?
I got one. Basketball. KD was not there for whatever reason at the rec league. And Ty P with them size 12 shoes on, 10 years old, was balling out of control, boy. He put the team on his back. Carried to a victory, boy. Yes. Like, that boy is balling right now.
Yeah.
Shooting free throws, doing it, did everything. Defense, going coast to coast. I was like, that boy right there is balling right now. And
was that the day where you played? You had two. What was it? Two football games, and then you played. Was that a different day?
That was a different.
That was a day that I felt like I remember too. Was because you were a beast that day. You had like 2 what was it, 2 football games, and then you turned around to play basketball that evening or something like that?
It was a
championships. Well, we had the championship, Parks and Rec championship. Then we had a little bowl game or whatever. I remember we played in Crawford, and then I remember we had a basketball game later that night, and I didn't want to go. And like I really was like convinced, like I wasn't going. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember Uncle D was like, he's like, I'm gonna see you later. And I'm not going, and I really didn't want to go. And I remember going home, and I took a nap, and I'm really thinking I'm still not going. And then my dad had woke me up, and he was like, "Come on, we gotta go." And I was like,
Oh, that you just brought back a memory, okay, which we 4 can relate. Remember the game when you went to swim and you were playing t-ball and you won a medal and you were swimming, and then we drove to Pasales and you hit 2 home runs.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I forgot about that one too. I don't know how, but that was amazing.
I think that's probably my 5th too. Honestly, it sounds cheesy, but like hitting a home run off the tee, because like I see Kamel, and Kamel's probably one of the best T-ballers I've seen, and he wasn't able to do that. So it really just goes to show like how hard that was. So yeah.
Well, everybody knew it was hard, and nobody knew but us what you just went through. I mean, you've been swimming,
right?
I mean, you just won a medal swimming, coming in second, and got in the truck and was asleep. I had a pillow, and you got out there and you made an error on the first time they put you at shortstop. I remember that. And I said something to you, and you always give me that look right there, that little why you talking to me look. And but I can say this as the dad, and all the things we've done together outside of the camera and outside of people, that I said it before and I said it again before I forget to say it. Roger Staubach's dad said it best. I've got one, and he gave me a good one. That is our God. And it's not easy being Coach Bryant's child growing up in Fayette County, because every time you do something, what did they say? I know your daddy.
Yeah, that
on your nerves, didn't it?
Yeah.
And it should have.
It got on your nerves.
And it should have. Okay, so I think from there, what I want, since I got everybody on, let's help some families. Was there something about the recruiting process that people probably need to know that we went through? Because I know with both of them, they wanted you to go make your own decision. And so it was hard for us to try to convince you to go to Kentucky, because before you chose Kentucky, we was all like this praying that you would go to the University of Kentucky, that you would choose Kentucky. But we kind of all had to take a step back and be like, let that be your decision. And we're glad that you made that decision, because we are absolutely having a ball with watching you at Kentucky. Is there anything during the recruiting process that you wish we knew, or that maybe we weren't able to, I guess, prepare you for, that maybe other people need to know?
I mean, no to that, but I mean, to the first question, when you asked, like, talking about advice, I think my mom remembers this, or she should, but remember when we was on the way back home from baseball, and Coach Hitch had called me, and I told him that I was in the car with you, and we had talked briefly, and then you and him had a whole conversation for like the rest of the ride home. But I think people don't understand, but it's about spots, and like, let's just say you're a running back or something, and maybe they might take in 2 running backs, right? And nowadays with the portal, it's a little different. I didn't really have to worry about the portal when I was in my recruitment. So, but it's all about spots. So, claim your spot. If you think or have a sense of where you want to go, then don't wait. When the Lord puts it on your heart to go there, then go there. And like you said, obviously, it came down to Cincinnati and Kentucky, and I felt like I prayed about it a lot before I made the decision, and I did feel like the Lord put it on my heart to go to the University of Kentucky. And I'll never forget waking up one day, firstly off like a state championship, and seeing that the whole staff that was at UC Cincinnati was going to Wisconsin. And I remember just talking to my mom and my dad about that. And I was like, I just really feel like that was the Lord just telling me, because I couldn't see it a year ago when I committed, but he had my best interest, and he knew the deal. And I don't want to put nobody's business out there, but a guy that was committed to UC that I know, after that happened, he went through a very difficult process, and I'm glad that he's at the University of Kentucky now, but he went through a very difficult process, and I'm just glad I didn't get put in his shoes, because I know for a fact, like, it would have been a difficult process, because I probably wouldn't have wanted to stay there because I have no idea who the new staff was going to be. So, just trusting the Lord and trusting your gut.
Good answer. That's good. That's a good answer. Do I have any, Angela, you got any questions for Ty that you wanted to address publicly?
Well, I would just say, just the question you just asked him, being a parent coming into this process and not being familiar with it, not really coming from the sports background, it was foreign for me, quite frankly. But I wasn't afraid to ask questions. I wasn't afraid to question every coach that spoke to him, every coach that we visited with. Ty, there were times that Ty rolled his eyes, but I felt like I needed to be informed so that when he came to me, I would have a better base of knowledge in order to help him navigate the decision that he needed to make. And in order to be informed, I had to ask the questions. So I would just say, for parents, don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask difficult questions and probing questions. I mean, that's what they're there for. And your child, you want to make sure your child is in the right position, or at least that you can help educate them and guide them when they're making that decision. So that would be my sort of tidbit for parents. Just don't be afraid to ask questions when you don't know. And I would say, I know that in any and every situation we find ourselves in life, whether it's, school, sports, work, relationships, there's always difficulties in those spaces. When one of your peers finds themselves in one of those difficult spaces where sports is concerned, what would your advice be to that individual?
Say it again.
So if one of your peers was struggling with the sports environment that they're in, whether it's at UK or any other school, what advice would you give them in that situation?
Obviously, I would just tell them, keep your faith in God. Everything happens for a reason, and I am a firm believer of that. And just continue to work. Don't hate on the next man, because if you work, then what the next man have could be your blessing. So, just continue to work. Continue to keep your head up, and don't give up.
Yeah, and one of the big things is what, Angela, you said. Everybody assumed that I know what that process was when Ty was getting recruited, but people don't understand, as a high school coach, you only go so far and you stop. I mean, you get to know the coaches in the beginning, but once they truly start recruiting, they don't talk to you anymore. They recruit, and people will walk up to me going, blah, blah, blah. I go, guys, I have no idea. This is new to me. He's the only child I ever try to get off to college. I said, when you talk to college coaches, they want to know about that young man, like, if you will, Ty. He's not my son. Once they get to know him, they don't need to talk to you anymore. So they're talking to the parents, and they're talking. So that was a good answer you said, because it ain't as easy as it looks when that process. It's all cute and fun until you have to make that decision.
It is.
And that decision comes down to the academics. Is the coach going to still be there? Because that was one of the questions I asked Cincinnati's coach.
Yeah. Because
he was at Cincinnati, the head coach, not the defensive coordinator. I said, are you still going to be here in 2 years? And he just stared at me. Remember time when we was driving home? Remember we had that practice at midnight?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you remember that? And I asked him, and he didn't. I said, Ty, he didn't truly answer me. He gave me a Ronald Reagan answer. He never answered the question. Because everybody's looking to go big time, making the money as a coach. Don't get it twisted. They love their kids, but, there's a big difference in making $3 million and $14 million. Huge difference. So that was a good question. Good answer.
Good answer.
I think
So-
I think a memory I have of my mom is a good memory was when we went to Illinois, and I remember we was in the room, and my mom said she tried not to get on her phone because she didn't make it seem like she was being disrespectful, but she was just looking around and stuff, and like I don't know, like literally she was like the way we were talking defense, of course, and it just sounded like a foreign language to her, and she literally just like
I
looking
had
around.
no clue. I had no clue.
She literally, it was just funny to me. Like I would look over at her, and she would just be looking around at the walls and stuff like that.
Speaking Latin to
It always got me. Man.
her. I got one
Always-
more comment, y'all.
Look how your daddy be doing me, always drinking on my show.
I gotta have my fruit drink.
Go ahead, Al.
One thing I learned is that for parents, this is a business. This ain't personal. They're gonna talk that talk, they're gonna tickle your eardrums and say they gotta say to get you there. But just understand that this is a business and your job is always on the line. So that's it was kind of hard for us because UK saying one thing one day and then something else the next day. We was like, man, forget UK. Go to UC. But trusting in God and listening and leaning, depending on God, we took a step back and let Ty do what he had to do, and it all worked out. So it ain't personal. I mean, it's all business.
I think the business part of it is probably definitely the hardest part of it because, like for us as coaches, we're looking at it from a coach's point of view and then also from a parent point of view at the same time.
Right.
And so sometimes it's conflicting because you're like, as a parent, you're like, okay, I feel like my baby is getting slighted. But then from a coach's point of view, you look at it from I'm able to look at it from the business part where I'm like, well, Ty should be playing, or how come he's not this, or how come he's not starting, or how come? And then when I look at when I dive into what's going on, I'll look at a player and I'm thinking like, okay, well, they're a senior, so maybe they're trying to get them into the league or something like that. And so you just have to look at it when you get to this level. It's a business, and it's and you're just not personal. That was a great point that you brought up, Al. Thank you.
Yeah, but one of the things is that I've always said from coaching and being around the college coaches, a lot of them, you can't look at it 100% from a business standpoint when your heart's in it. I don't care. It's sort of like I never forget the time. I don't know if you remember this, Angela, and this comes to the point of heart's in it. Ty was playing, they were in Owensboro, I want to say, and you walked up and asked me about AJ, playing. And I said, well, I don't do offense. And I said something because at that time, your heart, the mom and dad's hearts are into it. They was looking at it from a business. That's the reason why it's kind of hard when your heart's into it, if that makes sense. And there's because I know for a fact that Dane's having a great year this year, but last year I thought
It was a struggle.
It was a struggle, and their parents' hearts in it. It ain't a business to them.
Yeah,
Right.
It's about their child. And so with that said, it's a great response. I mean that a lot, but it is hard because when you make those type of decisions, and me being in Fayette County school system, sometimes I have to make a decision with my brain, not my heart.
Mm-hmm.
And then that parent is thinking heart first and then their brain.
Always.
And I think that's what happens in football, in baseball, and basketball, and any sport in college now. And like Ty said, especially with the way it is now, because it's totally different. It's different.
right.
Yep.
So Mr. Derek White is on, and he said keep the main thing. He said goal number 14. Julia Keenum said some of my favorite people. Haley Haskins said, hey, proud of you, Ty. Aunt Jackie's on. She said that, hey, family Ty, so proud of you. Your sister is getting on my nerves. And she said, because we all ride And Don for Ty, please. I don't know what she's talking about, but get your sister. He said, can you as parents speak to your emotions during the Ole Miss game? Oh my God.
Y'all go first.
Oh my God. So Angela and I was sitting next to each other. So she had her head in her hand and she was about to have a fit. Every time there was a play call, we was both like, oh my God. Like we were just really just going through it. And we thought we had a chance, but then once we got the I think the interception and we scored in the end zone, then it just really kind of perked. I know it perked me up a little bit, and I was like, oh my God, we have a chance. But for me, I think probably the biggest emotional problem was when we went for it on the 4th down and we were on our side. I said, oh my God. But I laughed to myself because I was like, is he calling this because he's so mad because everybody rode him for not going forward at the Georgia game and he just want to prove a point? But then I felt like he ended up proving everybody else's point. But it also was a different scenario because a lot of people, again, it goes back to there's so many couch coaches that are out here that think that they know because it is so hard to make
That's
that
what
decision.
The daughter said. That's what Jay said. She's a heck of a what's she call herself?
It is so hard. A couch coach. Yeah, it was awesome. So Angela, what was yours?
I just couldn't breathe. I couldn't breathe the entire game. I struggled, and all I could think about in that when he attempted to kick was, they're going to tie this game and I can't make it through overtime. I don't have the mental, the emotional, I don't have any capacity to get through overtime. I just can't do it. It became about me at that point. I was like, I cannot do this. So when he missed it, it was like Christmas in September. It was the absolute best thing ever. But I believe in my cats. I got my cats back 100% all the time. But I didn't have anything else to give that day.
Well, Ty, I got a question for you. Do you still have the Ole Miss towel that I saw that you was walking off the field with?
Yeah, it's on my loop. I forgot to ask for it back. But after the game, when we were celebrating and stuff like that, I didn't want to put the sweaty towel in my bag full of clean stuff. So I just put it on my loop. So, yeah, I got to go back in there tomorrow and get it.
What was on that towel?
Ole Miss.
Oh, it said their name. Okay.
Yeah. Well, Al, what was your feeling?
Man, I'm telling you, outside of the referee's slightness a few times, I had zero doubt the whole game. So our defense is top notch. If we get a few key plays on offense, this is our game. So when we went up to the lead and it's time for that field goal, I said, hey, y'all, he going to miss it. He ain't built like us. He is not built like our boy. He going to miss his field goal. A minute later, I said, I told y'all. He's high-fiving. I knew it. I wasn't even worried about it at all. I just had that feeling in my gut that after that Georgia game, we here. We ready. Get something for the world to see.
I think our defense is top tier. So there's this guy that I follow on TikTok he goes by Rico Knows. And I retweeted his post back in early August. And he had put Kentucky's defense as number 2 in the nation. And people was riding him. Oh, they was riding him so bad about his analysis of the defense. And he was like, it has nothing to do with play calling or coaching or anything. He said, if you look at just the players and their talent, he said they are number 2 in the nation. And I felt like the Georgia game showed that that they were on that. Yeah, that they're definitely top tier. I think every game Ty plays, I think you've made a major play that has just been absolutely phenomenal, and I think that just doesn't get talked about again. I think the Georgia game, the play that Coach Moore talked about, You know, when you came through, your dog is getting on my nerve. When
Yeah,
you came through and made that play and prevented them, because I was in the stands like, oh my God, Georgia's about to score. And you prevented them from scoring. And that was just huge. And what I liked about that was that it was the most watched game that night. It was like 9, I think it peaked at 9 million. So I'm just hoping that all of the scouts in the NFL was taking notes on Ty Bryant that day, and they got you on their scouting report, and to be looking forward to you, because I do believe that you will make it to the league.
Well, we're still in college.
I know we're still in college, but I think you'll make it to the league.
Well, my question to Ty after the game and everybody's hype and everybody's jumping up, it comes down, because I've been in that situation playing a sport. It comes down. You're on the plane. Did you actually sleep flying back? And it ain't very long flight, or was you still having the goosebumps and everything?
Jay just texted me. She's silly. But nah, it was like, of course it came down, because it's, you know, when the game wraps up at about almost 3:00 or whatever, then we had to drive like maybe an hour to get to the airport, and then we sit on the plane for a while too, just everyone packing up. And you know how it is with flights. I mean, even though we got our own plane, it is still the same like if we was going to the airport, where everyone, you know, some people got to get their bags checked and stuff like that, and everybody got to board the plane. So but I planned on sleeping when I got on the plane, but when we actually got up in the air, I was watching some other games, and then when those games went off, I was just like, I only got about like 14 minutes. So I sat there, kind of listened to my music and closed my eyes a little bit, but never really got to go to sleep.
Mm-hmm. So when you got back to Lexington, and then you took a moment and you said, "We beat Ole Miss."
I mean, yes, sir. Yes,
it had to be cool.
It was.
But you've done some things already where you're in Kentucky's record books, because again, I think they're putting that as one of the best wins in history. And so you're in the record books for that. But you're also in the record books, and a lot of people don't know that, as you have the top tackles as a freshman now, because you made 12 tackles in the Tennessee game. Because when we looked at it before, remember we were talking about your goals for your freshman year. Wasn't it 4 before that? No, but I don't think I've heard anybody talk about that, or am I mistaken?
It definitely wasn't 4.
It wasn't 4?
Hello?
Oh, okay.
He went to go get that. Okay, yeah. We wrote down. So what was it? What was the record before?
I mean, we didn't even really have it wasn't even a record on here. It was just a goal I wanted to do, the most tackles in the game, and eventually most tackles.
Because I think everything on there was based off of what the current records were. And
but for the tackles, we just put we just won the most tackles in a game, and eventually the season, and then everything else had a number. We had
we didn't have that. Okay, got it. Because I thought there was a number. I thought it was 4. So I thought you broke the record for the most tackles in a game by a freshman. So I'll have to look that up.
It was 4 interceptions.
Oh, it was 4 interceptions. Oh, it wasn't 4 tackles.
Right.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. Well, my Uncle Dale is on. He said, hey, nephew. Your Aunt Nay. Mr. Brown said, don't you also have an interception? Yeah, he had the interception against South Carolina, which should have changed the whole game around, but it didn't. But we're not going to talk about that.
No, we've gotten better. We've grown since then.
We've gone past that. We've gone past that. And Aunt Nay said one of her Washington attorneys told her about your amazing stats today. And he has folks. So you have folks watching you everywhere. You have fans everywhere. And so now that I have you, I don't know when I'll be able to get you on again. So is there anything that you wanted to say publicly that you've never had an opportunity or a platform to say? And it could be about anything.
Nah, I mean, no. I would say I appreciate all of y'all on this call. Obviously, like when I committed, I'd said my little piece about y'all, but I appreciate my mom and my dad for raising me. And I think one of the best comments I ever got was by Miss Jackman. It was one of my last days of school and of high school, and she'd asked me how everyone was doing, and she was like, "Your parents did a phenomenal job raising you, just being able to co-parent, and both of them finding love in other people, and then all four of them coming together just to raise you." She was like, "I've seen a lot of young men who's gone through the same thing as you, and they didn't turn out as good as you, and that's a testament to your parents." So I say appreciate y'all. I appreciate Mr. Al and Miss Terri as well for coming into my life and making an impact for sure, and on the positive side, and yeah, helping my parents raise me and stuff like that. So yeah, obviously you two, y'all raised kids and stuff like that. So Miss Terri, you helped my dad a little bit along the way, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm playing. But yeah, I appreciate both of y'all for coming into my life and making an impact. And for my two parents, my mom and my dad, I love y'all.
We love you, man.
We love you.
We love you, Forty.
Well, we know we're about to wind this down. If you don't know, this is when I walk away, because this is called Hits and Heels. And this is Mrs. Bryant's show, not mine. So I usually walk away about this time. Angela, Al, thanks for coming on. Son, I love you. Okay? All right.
Yes, I love you too.
Yeah, you didn't have to go.
I'm gonna leave too, because the man's leaving. I'm leaving with him, because there's got to be a girl thing obviously going on here. My man, I love you, baby.
Yes, I love you too.
Thank you, Al, for coming on. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's been tough. Angela. It's I know this is hard because I treat him like he's mine, and it's hard probably having to share him. But I appreciate you sharing your son with me and allowing me to be able to love him the way that I do, because he's my baby, and we've had a couple of moments where I'm about to come out the stands for that one. and I'll do that anytime. So thank you for coming on. I appreciate you taking the time out of your vacation to come on my show to pay homage to Ty. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks for the invite. And believe it or not, if you love him, then I love you. So it's never been hard for me.
Good stuff. Right. Thank you, baby.
Bye, Mom.
Bye, babe.
Whew. What do you think, Ty Bryant? That's good stuff.
It is. I appreciate you for allowing me to, we're going to call this the 100th episode. So I appreciate you for allowing me to be on here for the 100th episode. And hopefully the next time I'm on here is after I leave college and I join one of 32 teams, so.
And that's the goal. That's the goal. Mm-hmm. That's the goal. We're looking forward to it. Mr. Bruce. Hey, Mr. Bruce, thank you. Mika, love you too. Lots of comments on here, guys. So I hope that I got everybody on hey, Titans. She said tighten up. I see you, Aunt Nay. So everybody, thank you all for coming on. Please share this video. Please, especially if you have people that are going through the recruiting process that have a desire for your child. SEC is the best conference. I mean, we're hands down the best conference. It was very difficult. Of course, Ty had to have the skill set to get to the SEC. But as you can see, it took a village for us to get him there. It definitely wasn't something that was an easy task at hand. Ty put in a lot of work. We probably didn't talk enough about the work that Ty puts in outside of his practices that helped him to be the player that he is. So Ty, I'm so proud of you, baby. I love you. We love supporting you. We can't wait to see you at this next level. Hey, give us and make sure you hug all your teammates and your coaches and stuff for them. We appreciate them taking care of you, and we can't wait to see what this next part of your journey is going to be like.
Jay said we charge for podcasts now, so go ahead and send over to Jay. You know what I'm saying?
That's what Jay said.
Yeah.
That she's so silly. Jay, my baby, thank you. Hey, Crystal Scares, we see you. Ty, Mr. Brown said, Ty, you called my grandson Lewis with some encouraging words, and he said thank you. Cool. And Ozone, I see you, Ozone. Bang bang Niner gang. I'll go with it. But how about them Cowboys? All right, Ty. Well, I got to get up and go to this plantation early.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna let you go. So everybody, thank you. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Make sure you go to the Hits and Heels on Facebook and like the page. Invite your friends on. If you know someone that would be interested in telling their story, I love having coaches. I love having former athletes on. Next week, I'm gonna let y'all know. Next week, I have a game, so I moved the podcast to Tuesday. And you guys are going to love our guest for next Tuesday. So next week is going to be Tuesday because Wednesday we have a game. We're playing Leestown over at Takes Creek, and I'm not going to get back over in this part of town in time. Miss Haskins said, Ty, keep it up. You are such a role model for many younger than you, and Jordan adores you.
That's my guy, man. That's my guy.
Yeah.
Anything, just tell him to text me.
And Aunt Nay says, bye, family. Bye, Nay. All right, baby. So don't log off, but I'm getting ready to end the stream, okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank y'all. Y'all have a good one.